Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani here. We are live, Friday live Q&A. Feel free and dive in. Put your comments down below. If we're talking about all topics health as well as coronavirus stuff, all that is on the table. If you guys are enjoying the comments or enjoying the show, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications and put your comments down below. I'll be diving into some of these comments live as we go. So look forward to connecting. All right, so what's happened the last couple days on the coronavirus front? I'll bring up some data here in a little bit. Number one, New York added about 5,000, or I should say 4,000 deaths, 3,800 to be exact, of probable victims. So essentially, the diagnostic criteria is quite loose on the coronavirus side. So because of that, people that have similar symptoms, not even laboratory diagnosed, could get added to that list. That's why I'm saying, guys, don't worry about so much on the death statistics side. Just know there's a lot of overlap, and we're looking at all-cause mortality. When we look at flu and pneumonia deaths dropping, a lot of those people are getting lumped in. So when you look here, 37, almost 3,800 people. And when you're seeing the criteria here, you're also going to be seeing that it's quite subjective. I'll show you the actual CDC documents people are using. So just to kind of keep that in the back of your head, here's the documents they're actually using here. This is the vital statistics reporting guideline. And then when you look here at the guideline, it's going to say here, let me zoom in a little bit for you guys so you can see. All right. So it should say right here where it talks about it being probable. Let me hunt it down here. Okay, so when determining whether a COVID-19 played a role in the cause of death, follow the CDC clinical criteria for evaluating a person under investigation, and where possible, conduct appropriate lab testing, which is important. It's remembered that death certificate may not meet mandatory reporting requirements. In cases where definitive diagnosis of COVID-19 cannot be made, it is suspected or likely the circumstances are compelling within a reasonable degree and certainty, is acceptable to report COVID-19 on a death certificate as probable and presumed. So the probable and presumed thing is the criteria we're seeing over here in New York with these last 3,800 people that were just added to the death roll, okay? And that's because, number one, no tests that are positive. Number two, symptom overlap. The problem is we know the symptoms for corona are upper respiratory. So that's going to overlap with a lot of different upper respiratory colds. So just keep that in the back of your head. A lot of these, the numbers are going to be padded based on how loose and liberal the diagnosis criteria is. And that's according to the CDC documents. We have those. So I don't want people to be overly scared about that. I want you to focus on kind of the overall trend. That's the most important thing, is where are we heading on the trend side? That's shows everything we need to be seeing there. And let's kind of look at the data real fast. We'll go into that briefly. So China added a couple thousand people in the last few days. You know, you can't really trust China. They were at 3,200, 3,500. Now they're at 46, right? So big jump right there. But you can see the overall trend, daily new cases dropping to zero, and then daily deaths. So you can see negligible right there. We're kind of following the same path, right? So if we look at United States, same thing. So we're definitely trending downward on the cases. Again, we had deaths that were added from a couple days ago. So a lot of these spikes right here, this is because of that 3,000 that was added, okay? So this spike really popped it up. If that spike wasn't there, it'd be like a lot down here. It's still trending down a little bit. Most important thing is we look up here. This is gently trending down, but expect the stats to be padded. You know, I expect over 50% of these people to have the flu, and 90+% are going to have comorbidities, other diseases. So just keep that in the back of your head. UK, you're going to see, is trending downward already on the deaths, just a little bit here for the last week. And then you can see on the cases side, that's trending downward there as well. Let's look at Netherlands, gently trending downward here on the daily deaths. And on the cases, they are kind of heading down here. The last 4 or 5 days, outside of that one aberration, they're heading down, which is good. South Korea, same thing. Again, their numbers over here are a lot smaller, but they're trending down here as well. And on the cases, they are like at the very bottom. And then here's Brazil, daily deaths. They're right at the top of the bell curve, kind of crescendoing down, which is good. And their cases are right at the top, kind of starting to crescendo down, so we'll keep an eye on them. And here's Sweden. Sweden never closed their economy off. So they had a little drop there. They were coming down, and then they popped back up the last 3 days. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. But overall, their deaths per million, I think, are doing better than the UK. So didn't close the economy down, FYI. And then here's India, big country, only less than 500 deaths for over a billion people, billion person country. That's really pretty negligible. And the daily deaths are trending down. So things are looking pretty good on that front, on all things COVID. So we've talked about it many times here, guys. What are things we can do to boost the immune system? We've talked about it. Dysglycemia and blood sugar imbalances are one of the biggest things. We talked about how 60%, according to New England Journal of Medicine, let me pull up the study for you guys, 60% of people that are dealing with COVID-19 are diabetics, 60%. Okay, this is like the real deal here, right? COVID-19, critically ill patients. This is Seattle. This is one sample size. 58% had diabetes mellitus, okay? This is real. So blood sugar is going to affect your immune system. This is the real deal. So dysglycemia, having healthy proteins, fats, and keeping the carbs in check for you and for what your body is burning, okay? Lower carbs if you're more sedentary and more insulin resistant. Higher carb if you're more active. Keep it more plant-based on the carb side. All right, guys, let's keep on rolling. Any other questions? Bruce writes in, are collagen supplements actually beneficial to take orally? Yes, they are. Collagen is amazing. It's going to have primarily hydroxyproline, proline, and glycine are the big amino acids. They make a lot of building blocks for our connective tissue, especially along with vitamin C. They're going to really help with good quality connective tissue. That's hair, that's skin, that's nails, that's joints. Also, collagen isn't something we typically consume. We're not consuming lots of soups or chewing on knuckles or cartilage, right, or bones. So it's giving you a lot of exposure to nutrients we typically don't get a lot of. Our little girl writes in, Dr. J, I have a few questions tonight. What would you give to older patients 65 to 70 who are generally in good health for good general protection? Mom's off high blood pressure meds for the last 5 years. So it just depends. I mean, a really good multivitamin with a broad spectrum of B, C, vitamin E, A, etc., essential fatty acids, good magnesium, good minerals in there. A good broad spectrum multi is going to be great. And then if we're dealing with immune stress, we'll throw in some vitamin D as well, some vitamin D, maybe some cod liver oil. I think that's a really good first step, Would citrulline powder offer any health benefits? Yeah, citrulline is going to really help provide a lot of precursors for oxygenation, right? It's going to be a big vasodilator. It's going to really help with oxygenation and blood flow. It's going to help with that ornithine cycle, and it's going to help with nitric oxide. What should one do if is going through a gentle parasite removal and seeing mucus described as white worms in stool? It just depends. It could be a lot of biofilm plaques. It could be inflammation. So is your diet good? If your diet's good, then you may want to maybe add some binders in there, maybe do some of the ginger tea to kind of help gently soothe the tummy, calm the inflammation, and keep things moving. The glutathione you recommend is on back order. Yeah, if you're doing the nebulized glutathione, yeah, it's on back order. Yep, for sure. But if you want to at least take some oral glutathione, then feel free, Justin Health or office@justinhealth.com. Feel free. We can always get you guys some oral high-quality glutathione if you need. That's at least a good option. Nebulized glutathione is really only necessary if you want to hit it more acutely. You already have respiratory issues. You want to hit it more specifically or acutely. Or you have some active respiratory mold stuff where you have to hit it, more specifically. I'm having a hard time figuring out which glutathione is soluble on Amazon. So yeah, you'd want to really just look for a good liposomal. And if you're having a hard time, email me, office@justinhealth.com. We'll be able to help you. Is ascorbic acid, vitamin C, okay to take or not worth time? Yeah, vitamin C, ascorbic acid or ascorbate is great, especially if it's buffered with some vitamin C minerals in there. If it's buffered with potassium or magnesium, those are all great. Just choose higher quality sources. In my line, we use one called Vitamin C Synergy that I formulated, buffer with hesperidin, rutin, and some of those really good minerals in there. What's your protocol to get rid of H. pylori? Thanks. It depends. I have one product in my GI Clear line, GI Clear 2, that I commonly use with H. pylori, which has clove, bismuth, mastic gum, some berberines. But a lot of times we'll combine it because we'll see H. pylori people have fungus or other bacterial infections or parasite or C. diff. So it just depends what other types of infections are present, and then usually we'll stack them together and we'll dial them in accordingly. Could you recommend some good brand of cod liver oil? Does it have to be extra virgin? So for cod liver, you'd want like either Nordic Naturals or Carlson's or Blue Ice, one of those high quality types of cod liver oil. It's going to have higher amounts of vitamin A as well, maybe even some vitamin K. Those are all great options. What non-dairy yogurts are best? Should I rotate? I eat some every day. So non-dairy yogurts, great brand out there is Kalina. Kalina is great. It's a really great coconut, simple, good probiotic-based coconut yogurt. They're an excellent brand out of Austin, Kalina, Culnia. Really autoimmune friendly too. All right, guys, any other questions, feel free and chime in. Let me know. Just wanted to chime in here before I left the office for the day. Wanted to connect with y'all. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. I'm looking forward for the economy to start opening back up so people are a little bit more energized. They're not so isolated. They're going back and they're contributing to society and living their purpose. People are always better and happier when they're living their purpose. All right, guys, it was phenomenal chatting with you guys. If you enjoy the show here and enjoy the video, put your comments down below. If you're dealing with any immune stress as well, let me know what you're doing, what's helping, what's not helping. Really curious to get your perspective on that as well. All right, guys, have a phenomenal weekend. Take care. Bye.